Please like, comment, and subscribe.
As we're talking about making the transition from survival to purpose, I'm sitting here wrestling with purpose. And you say that part of our purpose is to poke and to promote and even to provoke sometimes. And then you say that Donald Trump is a beautiful incarnation because he's a mirror that's in many ways accelerating what's going on. So the question I have is purpose, should we get up on a big stage, if we can, if we have that capability? Should we get up on a big stage and poke and promote and even provoke sometimes? Or should we sit back and tend our own little garden and just be peaceful there and in that way contribute? I'm lost between the two.
I think we can do absolutely anything because it's about co-creation, it's about exploration, having fun. There are no rules. There's simply, we do something, and in nature, it has a consequence. We can say, oh, this is fun, or it's not. We figure out, oh, does this work? Maybe it doesn't. In the big picture, it really doesn't matter. It's about whatever we do will bring us something that will assist us in our growth. So we can do absolutely anything because it will simply have consequences. It's math. So however you want to apply mathematics, it's still math. And it's up to you what kind of calculations you want to be doing and what to type. You know, you have to go through all of it anyway. You know, because we need to experience absolutely everything from every single angle, every single approach. So if we feel drawn to something, okay, maybe there's something there. So I think it's important to grow out of the belief that there is like a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. There are certain things we should be doing, there are certain things we shouldn't be doing. It really doesn't matter. We're here to experiment in that dialogue with life. Think of everything we do, every single thing we do is a question to life. We can say also a question to God if you want to use that word. So we are acting based on our understanding and our consciousness because that's the theory behind what we're doing. We want to achieve something. And life will then show us that, yeah, you may be on track, maybe it's a little bit different. That's the conversation. So life will show you, maybe not that, that's how it works. And then, you know, we get a different result than we anticipated, hopefully. And then we'll learn something. And no matter what we do, as long as we take part in that dialogue, we will learn something that will change our beliefs. And that will make us grow. So what that is irrelevant. And if you think, oh, does this belong to the old and the new, this is an experiment. And how you define it is not really important in itself. The only thing that matters is that you get a better understanding on how to navigate and how to understand when you're growing and when you're not, when you're in balance, when you're not. And for you to see, okay, when I grow, this happens. Okay, and I did this and this and this to make it happen. So it's about learning the language of how to communicate with life and how to truly get to the point of true growth. Because very often when we talk about growth, we're just bullshitting ourselves. Look at a religion and spiritual tradition. You can sit and meditate for 10 years and you're still in a bubble. You haven't learned a thing. You may have disconnected from everything and experienced complete bliss, but you're completely useless. So it's like getting to the core of life, getting to the core of our own existence and how to truly be part of what is and truly open up to, as I said, like growth, healing, and love, and practice it and understand what that actually means. And to do that, we need to experiment the shit out of everything without fear, without judgment. and let all belief systems go, because we will act, we will initiate based on a belief system. And the purpose is for that belief system to be crushed. When life is showing us that no, that's not entirely what's going on, so we can correct ourselves. And every time we accept the answer that life is giving us, and we choose that over our current beliefs, we grow. So, have fun, and listen, and have. I love science. I think we need to have a very kind of scientific approach to spirituality. When we want to grow and understand and grow into higher consciousness, it's just like science. We need to have the right methods. We need to understand our methods. We need to, have a whole system of exposing our own misunderstandings and misconceptions and everything that gets in the way. And we need to analyze, and we need to have the right methods to analyze, like all of that. But when it comes down to it, without the freedom of experimentation and exploration, we've got nothing. And that to me is the core. This to me is the healthiest and most efficient way to work, to look at science. You need to have the right mythology combined with the right experimentation and understand what's appropriate. And that is going beyond traditions and religion. So I work a lot with scientists, assisting them in thinking bigger and out of the box and lifting them over to the new paradigm. And most scientists have a lot of fun. They're so playful because they know they have to be. If you want to go beyond what you already know, you have to go beyond your own mind. You have to find your way out of the maze. So you have to surprise yourself. And I think there is so much to learn from science. And I think also when spirituality is kind of contradictory to science, spirituality is wrong. Because very often, again, people like to they like their fantasies, they like their beliefs, and they like to be kind of not only that kind of bubble, but they like the feeling of being right. And then they see science as a threat. To me, spirituality is simply about discovering what is. Science is doing the same thing, very methodically, and it can only relate to what we have figured out so far. But to me, there's absolutely no contradiction. And I teach scientists spiritual principles, and they apply it in science. And I think there are a lot of principles in science that can be applied to spirituality, because when it's trying to understand the same reality. So I would say learn from science more than you learn from religion and tradition. Because in the old ways, number one, it's part of the old paradigm, but it's also, once you see through it, you understand that there's nothing there. Science, however, has mythology that enables you to expand and always go beyond. And science also has the doubt. As I've said many times, doubt is religion done right. You should never believe, you should doubt. Because in science, one always has the notion that this is as far as we've come. Tomorrow, we might discover something that might totally pulverize everything we thought we knew, and then we'll just go to that. It's the ability to always absorb new knowledge and accept it. And that's what we need to do spiritually as well, while religion is the opposite. You have the answers, and then you try your best to fit into them forever because God has spoken. So science is the opposite. And true spirituality is always about its expansion. It's about evolution. It's growth. Religion is not truly spiritual. It's the opposite. So in the new paradigm, there is this communication that has been established between science and spirituality. And science is being applied in spirituality and vice versa. And we're only seeing the start. In more advanced cultures, it's the same because it's basically about understanding life and applying different approaches. And spirituality, as an individual, as consciousness, you might be in touch with an experience, what is far beyond science. But if it's real, it's real. And it means then science at some point will figure it out. If it turns out it's not real, it's basically your own ego making up bullshit. So I think it's healthy to have that combination. Spirituality is assisting science in ways of thinking, and now there are a lot of individuals incarnating that is also transforming science and channeling in new information. So we will see in the centuries to come that science and spirituality will become a lot more intertwined for the better.